FlipIt offers a 4-step wizard that walks you through the course setup process. You can always access these tabs to make changes during the term, but setting up the wizard before your class begins will allow you to set up assignments and due dates in a minimal amount of time. To begin, click Edit in the upper right and begin filling in your course information. Most fields will be self-explanatory or can remain unchanged, but the following items may require explanation. The course access key is the code that a student is asked to type in to register for your course. The system automatically provides a randomly generated alphanumeric code by default, but you can edit this field to make the course access key something easier for you and your students to remember. You'll need to provide this course access key to your students so that they can register for your course. Students will be asked to include their student ID during the enrollment process. You may want to change the wording of this request to specify if you'd like them to enter a student ID number, a school email address, or a net ID, etc. The purpose of this identifier is so that you can easily import the FlipIt gradebook into a course management system such as Blackboard or Canvas. These systems often require that a field of the exported CSV file be exactly the same in order to sync. The student ID filter helps to minimize the chance of a student inputting an incorrect student ID by allowing you to set the parameters. For example, if you want your students to enter a student ID number and not their email address, then you would opt to prohibit the @ symbol. You can also rename the 3 FlipIt assignment types if you prefer they be called something else. For example, you may want to refer to problems as homework. Once you are happy with your settings, click Save and navigate to the second tab by clicking on the Select Course Content tab or clicking Next. In the Select Course Content tab, you will organize your course content to match your syllabus. Your course is represented in the right panel. By simply dragging and dropping, you can reorder sections or individual units to customize your course. Hovering over a section or unit reveals the option to remove it. The left panel is the content library where you have access to all FlipIt content. You can drag and drop content from the left panel into the right panel to include it in your course. You can also add your own sections and units to populate with your own material. You'll be able to edit the titles of pre-built sections and units directly from within your course. Once the right panel is in order, click Next or navigate to the Set Holidays tab. The Set Holidays tab is quite simple to use. Click on the days you will not have class because of a holiday or school vacation. For example, if you normally hold class every Tuesday and Thursday, but don't want to schedule assignments during the Tuesday and Thursday of spring break, you'd click on those 2 days of spring break week to indicate to FlipIt that it should deviate from the normal weekly schedule. When you're done, click Next. The last step of the wizard, the schedule generator, allows you to set your course parameters for the 3 assignment types in FlipIt. Pre-lectures and bridge questions should be due before class so that you can use student submissions and feedback to tailor and prepare for class time. For class at noon, you may want student submissions due at 8 a.m. so you have time to look over the data. Problems are typically assigned as homework due after class. You can also customize whether you want your students to see feedback immediately or after a delay. You may want feedback to appear after a delay if you're using the Problems section as graded homework or quiz so that students cannot share correct answers before the assignment is due. You can set additional deadlines by clicking Edit if you wish to allow students to submit late work for reduced credit. You may choose the length of time for the additional deadline as well as the amount of credit. Scroll to the bottom to see the last step of the wizard where you will indicate the days you teach the course during a typical week. Drag and drop lecture number 1 to the first day of class. For instance, if you are teaching a class that meets on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you will place class lecture number 1 on Tuesday. For a Monday, Wednesday, Friday class, you'll put the first lecture on Monday. If you teach more than 2 lectures in a typical week for this class, just click Add another unit per week to generate another lecture to place. Once you have scheduled your lecture class time, you can schedule the due dates for pre-lectures and bridge questions. Remember, pre-lectures and bridge questions are to be completed by students before they arrive to class. Schedule the due date for pre-lectures and bridge questions either the day before or the same day as lecture, leaving enough time for you to review student participation before lecture time. Make sure the due times you previously set in the Wizard reflect how you structure your typical week. Use the same drag and drop technique for the problem section and for the pre-lectures, bridges, and problems associated with additional lectures. Once you are satisfied with your model week, click Generate Schedule. FlipIt will publish the criteria you set to the system's calendar for the entire term. Then click the calendar icon. While viewing the calendar, you can drag and drop the assignment bubbles to move them around if you wish, and can alter specifics of the assignment by hovering over the bubble to reveal further editing options. Once your course is set up to your satisfaction, click Instructor Links, then Global Course Settings, and then Edit, and make sure that the box next to Course is visible to students is checked. If it is not, check the box and click Save. Now, you and your students are ready for class.